tool just made out of scraps. Like I said, your spar thickness, 1.5 inches. This is just a guide to lay on your edge of your wood. And then this one if I'm doing 1/8 inch. And this one here combined with this one if I'm doing 1/4 inch. Those two combined of course are 1/4. I just lay my pen right on that or right on this at the point, either way. From this edge here to the front cut out of the door, we got 15 inches. We've got a 30-inch wide door, which gave us 1/8 of an inch just for oopsies or whatever, wiggle room. And we got 20 inches from this door lip to the front edge of your window on this side. We got a 15-inch window opening. I went at 15 1/8. And then we have 16 inches from this back edge of the window opening to the very back bulkhead wall here, which will have a wall here. Keep in mind we are building past this point, but for now, there's your measurements of your side. Keep in mind that is 8 foot long on the bottom. think I'm gonna buy me one of them track saws for Christmas. gang, I went ahead and temporarily threw one wall up just to give you an idea, give you a visual of what she's going to look like. You can see how solid our wall meets our floor right there. Pretty decent look. Still get the feeling somebody's watching me. All day today I've had that feeling. I don't know what's going on. Everywhere I move, feels like there's an eye on me. There you go. You can see the step design there. It's not drawn up tight. It's just kind of mocked up into place. But you'll see when we're done, it'll have step walls, step ceiling right there. Your spars, of course, will run across there. Thought you'd... give you a little shot from this angle too. Make yourself a little prop rod. You can also use the corners that you cut out up there if you want. I've just had that one forever, so I can just keep using it. There's your floor that we saw in the last video. Alright, on to the other side. Keep in mind when we do this driver's side of this teardrop, there will be an inner support right above that wheel well to carry the load of the spare tire on this side. You don't want your spare tire on your campsite. This is the driver's side. Passenger side is usually referred to as your campsite, where your awning will be and kind of where all your activities will go, your cook stove or whatever. So you kind of want to keep your tire and maybe even your propane tank over here on this side, your water tanks or whatever, out of the way of normal activities. Alright gang, here we are onto the second wall. This is your door cut out there. Fender. We're pre-measuring everything. We will drill for nut zerts on this one just like we did on that one. Don't know if I showed you that on the camera or not, but I like to put nut zerts in the back of here. They're threaded, they got a lip on them with teeth. You pound them in from this side after you drill your hole, and then you have a place to bolt your fenders through a little more solid than just running wood screws or whatever you're going to use into the wood. This is the driver's side of the trailer, or the curb side. Roadside, I mean. It will have a spare tire mounted on the outside right there. The spare tire will also sit on the fender, kind of back a little bit away from the door, out of your way of camping and stuff. Still leaves you room for a ladder back here if you want to get up on the roof on that side. We're trying to keep the passenger or the campsite for the awning. This will have a roof rack and an awning on it, and a table on that side. So we're kind of putting all the camp stuff on the passenger side, all the hardware on the driver's side. I'm going to go ahead and cut the door out, insulate this, and I'll be back. Doing this side with the inner wall framing and the insulation cut out. I just want to show you one thing. We bought 2 sheets of this, 4x8 sheets at Lowe's, $7.50 a sheet. So far I've done the floor and both walls with those 2 sheets. That's what we have left. Out of 2 sheets, we got all that insulated. So do not skimp on the insulation if you're worried about cost or time. $7.50 a sheet. That's 15 bucks. $7.50 on the floor, $7.50 on 2 walls. That's 15 bucks. We'll probably have another 15 in the roof, in the front and the rear wall. Your camp will be fully insulated. You will be so much more happy with it insulated, I promise you. Just do it, guys. Just do it. Alright, next up I'm going to clean up my mess and lay the top inside wall on there. Draw it out, cut it out, glue it, and brad nail it in, and then we're going to stand this wall up on the camper next. Alright guys, there's the driver's side wall. On the bottom you see the outer layer. In the middle you see the framing for the insulation. And on the top you see the inside layer. I am going to temporarily pop it up on the frame and get a walk around of how it looks with the 2 walls up. I am waiting on some welting or GIMP molding. Unlike some of the guys that build these, I like to run GIMP all the way around the perimeter, just like they did in the old days in the older campers. Cuts down on squeaky noise when you're in it. If you rock back and forth and you got wood on wood, sometimes you get a squeak. And it just dresses up the corners real nice. If you don't want to use GIMP, you could always run a bead of caulk around the edges like I do around my doors. Give me a few minutes and we're going to get this set up. Alright guys, as I said before, the walls are temporarily up. They're just held in place with some clamps and some right angle clamps that I made. There you can see the step construction. When they're insulated, that gives you several purposes. Noise reduction, heat transfer of course, condensation transfer of course. Just gives it a solid feeling. This here ledge also gives you a place to lay your inner sheet of roofing. That gap there, when this stud is brought all the way up to the top, see the gap there? That will allow for our piece of sheet of plywood to lay across there, luan, or whatever you decide to use inside, paneling, whatever. When we built these, keep in mind we measured our 1.5 inches for a guy there going across, and then we gave a thickness of roughly 3/16, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, whatever you're going to use. We're going to use 1/8 inch on this one to lay under it, and then that allows your top piece of plywood to lay directly on top of this and this. It is there, if you could see it right there. There you go, all the way down. They'll be flush with the top ledge of this. You lay your sheet on top of this and that, glue and staple it, glue and screw it, whatever you want to use, and then of course the aluminum skin and trim will go over that. Basically, I just wanted to give you an update, a finish kind of roundup on the wall video. The next video will be the inner roof, the studs, the outer roof, after we tackle the welting and decide on what floor we're putting in here and what color stain we're going to do on the walls. This guy's just happy he survived yesterday. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. I know the camera cut out, guys, when we were building this wall here, this driver's side wall, and it didn't show how I ran that stud through from the inside. And there will be a plate here, and it will have studs, of course, to hold the spare tire. I may put a hub on it and a spare tire, that way we have a spare hub. That's probably not a bad idea. There will be a brace, a metal brace running down, and it'll 90 out and sit on top of the fender. The fenders, of course, had their nut certs in them. You can see them there sticking through. I hammered them in from the backside, glued them in place, ran screws in to make sure I didn't plug any of the holes. And when we laid the aluminum skin up there, I made a template of that out of paper, so I know exactly where the holes are, and we'll just transfer that to the aluminum skin right before we put it on and drill them holes out. That way we're not guessing. Fenders came in yesterday. I actually ordered them from a surplus place that had some brand new fenders that were slightly bent, and that's going to work to my advantage because they're slightly smaller than the tires, and I need to put them in my shrinker stretcher and change the angle of the down kicks anyway, so it'll work out great. I also got the rear baggage door, the compartment for the AC unit vent in the rear, that used window that you saw earlier, same place. Look online, guys. You'll find used surplus RV stores, and you will save yourself a bundle. You can actually make doors out of old cargo doors, or cut down a full-size RV door to make a door for one of these. I went ahead and bought new doors because I like the screen doors that come with these doors I purchased. Hopefully they're here this week, and we'll get them installed kind of temporarily so you guys can see what it's going to look like.